How's it going, everyone? It's Drew. Thank you for tuning in. I did something this weekend. I decided to embark on this adventure that was horribly difficult and dangerous, possibly the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life physically, possibly the worst decision I've ever made in my 26 years of existence. I almost paid for it with my life, or at the very least suffered a near fatal injury. It was a terrible decision, and now, I love backpacking. Y'all know that I love backpacking. I love the outdoors. I love camping and hiking and all that. I think it's an amazing way to, reconnect with nature, connect with your roots, your spiritual being, and just kind of disconnect from the humdrum of society and technology and your daily life and your job and stress and whatnot. But the utmost importance in backpacking is your safety and it is your health, both physical and mental. That is what takes precedent over everything else. I don't care how beautiful and orgasmic these nature views are, or how amazing it is, or how much effort and planning you put into a trip. You always prioritize your safety and your health. That is number one. So I decided to embark on this solo backpacking trip, the Hopi Salt Trail that leads to the Little Colorado River out in Arizona. It's actually located on a Navajo reservation. So in order to do the hike, you have to get a permit, calling it a permit from them. Not many human beings have done this hike, or at least have had a record of it. I don't know if anyone in history has ever done this hike alone. Your boy here was the only person stupid and moronic enough to make that decision. Not only did I do that, I decided to do this trek in the middle of July. It was a solid 112 degrees out there. When I tell you I could have died on this trip, or at the very least suffered near fatal injuries, I am not lying. There was so much danger, a lot of it being the environmental factors, a lot of it being the fact that not another human being was encountered over the 2 days that I was on this hike. So God knows what could have happened if I was to fall, break my leg, faint, suffer from dehydration. There's no ranger, there's no other hikers. I didn't have service on my phone. Nobody would have saved me. I would have just been sitting in the dirt while vultures circled me and scorpions crawled on my ass. I drive out, it's about 8 hours, and I'm just hand on the wheel, just bussing it. Alright, we are on our way to the Hopi Salt Canyon Trail. It's about an 8-hour straight shoot there. I'm coming from Southern California. Look at this vibe, look at this fog in the early morning. I made it in one piece. I'm out here in the desert. There's absolutely nobody out here, except for some stray dogs over there that I'm afraid to approach. Turns out your boy's not in the right location. I ended up at what I thought was the trailhead because, like I said, I'm a stupid idiot. I ended up at some private property, some dude's ranch where there was not a human being on site. All I saw were a bunch of stray dogs just sitting around, a bunch of sheep, and some other livestock. Clearly not a trailhead, but my dumb ass thought, maybe if I just walk a little bit in that direction where Google Maps is telling me that the Little Canyon Trail is, maybe I'll find some kind of trailhead. This place is a ghost town. I don't know what this is. There's a couple buildings there and a trailer. There's some sheep and a bunch of dogs. Dogs are all barking at me. This doesn't really resemble a trailhead to me. Yeah, yes, Drew, because you're at the wrong place, you idiot. You idiot. There's also a bunch of random ass dogs just running around out here in the desert. Like these two, I don't know if they're coming from these freaking dogs that are just out in the desert. To my knowledge, they're just stray dogs or feral dogs because I don't see an owner in sight. This is like a gang war or something. I don't know what to do. They don't look too friendly. So I wasn't able to capture footage of this, but about 8 minutes into me, on this journey to find the trailhead, I hear the sound of I hear this truck. I turn my head and this truck is just making a beeline straight towards me, driving over cactus and dirt and whatnot, straight towards me. And it gets about 100 meters away, and the dude just blares his horn. I'm talking, bah! And then sticks his head out the window and screams, "Who are you? What are you doing? You're on private property." And he's far away, and he probably can't hear me because he's honking. But I scream back "Is this not it? Is this not the Hopi Salt Trail, this Salt Canyon?" And finally, he pulls up beside me, and I'm just hoping to God that he doesn't completely lose his shit. This dude very angrily informed me that in fact I'm private property and not in the right location. He informs me that this is private property. This is some dude's ranch. It wasn't even his. He was just working for the guy who owned the ranch, and they sold livestock and sheep. And I was trying very hard not to antagonize him because God knows, this dude could have pulled a gun out of his glove box. Eventually he was able to just calm down, and then I informed him yo, let me get back in my car and I'll just get the hell out of here. So the dude just drives off. Dude could have given me a ride back too. He was just so upset that I didn't want to antagonize him any further. But I get back to the freeway, finally get enough service to get on my All Trails app and figure out that I had indeed mapped it to the wrong location in Google Maps somehow, because Google Maps would be doing me dirty. So I went to the actual trailhead. In terms of mileage, it wasn't that far, but I had to drive all the way around to another part of the canyon, and then 15 miles over dirt road. I'm in a Kia Rio, so we're not making crazy progress. So I'm just driving for 15 miles of this Lil Nas X Old Town Road. Couple hours later, but I finally made it to the actual trailhead. I'm able to confirm that. This is, I was able to download the All Trails app and find my GPS location. You can see the, kind of see the gorge there. It looks beautiful already, but there's gonna be some serious elevation decrease over the next couple of miles. Catch you on the flip side. Hopefully I haven't broken a leg by then. I finally start my descent into the Hopi Salt Trail. Immediately I can see this is no ordinary backpacking trail. It's a bit easy at first, but clearly it's gonna get a little more difficult. I don't even know where this trail is going. You can even consider this a trail, but that water is insane. Look at that. You can see just off in the distance, it's like a vivid blue, kind of turquoise, but my God, they actually call this a trail. There were a couple kind of normal steep switchbacks, and then this was a drop off. I'm talking like a straight up boulder dash. Erase any idea in your head you have of an actual trail that people hike on, and just think of like a raw cliff face with like crumbling red rock and cactus. Who told me this was supposed to be a hiking trail? Do y'all see this? That's not a trail. This is mountain climbing. Every step you have to make sure that you're not gonna lose it on some crumbling rock and just go flying down the canyon gorge. And a couple of occasions I had to take off my pack, drop it down onto the ledge below, and just let my pack take the damage, because there's just no other way to descend it, because I'm out there alone. There's nobody to help me or catch me. Dropped my pack down the ledge, prayed that it didn't break in half, and then kind of have to either jump down, or sometimes it was even too high for me to jump down. So I had to Spider-Man climb, like Miles Morales, Peter Parker, just like climb my way down the rock cliff face and just pray to the Lord that the little footholds that I caught onto would not crumble and fall off, because some of them did. You were just rolling the dice on a lot of these, that when you transferred your full weight to something, it would actually hold you onto the ledge and keep you from falling like 30 to 40 feet. On top of that, you got to make sure you're not grabbing any cactus. Some of the rocks were really sharp too. Like my hands are still cut up from this journey because I didn't have any gloves. It was steep. There's loose rocks everywhere. There's cactus everywhere. I got stabbed a couple times. I did slip a couple times, but thankfully not off of any kind of ledge. But I did roll my ankle a couple times. That is killer when you have a 40+ pound pack on your back. There was no cover on this trail. There was zero shade. The sun is bearing down on you. It's at least like 110 degrees. Man, did I not realize how underprepared I was in terms of water. Then I remembered that I did do some research on the Little Colorado River, and when it is that vivid blue, beautiful, majestic, orgasmic color, it is in fact not even filterable, drinkable water, because there's so much like salt and calcium carbonate and deposits, whatever else is in there, that you can't even filter it to be drinkable. And I'm running out of water, so like I could pitch a tent right now and kind of camp it out. But knowing me, I am not going to be able to sleep with my insomnia, with my stress and anxiety of having to go back up with zero water. I am not going to be able to make it through the night. So I made another possibly really stupid decision, which was to turn around when I really was pretty close to the bottom. I could see just around the bend was the Little Colorado River, and there wasn't very far to go. So for y'all, a little update. So I imagine that the beautiful, vivid blue water is just a few miles in that direction in the bottom of that gorge, but I can't make it. I'm running out of water. I'm dying out here. Y'all can probably tell, but I'm pretty sunburnt. I'm exhausted, getting lightheaded. Don't have enough water to make it down there and back, and hopefully I have enough water to just barely make it. It's a shitty feeling. I'm kind of dying out here. Wish I could be airlifted out, but it's unlikely. I feel like I'm giving up, but I don't have another choice. Yeah, man. I hate this. I'm like, you know what? Every step that I take is risking it. I made this decision. So I started heading back up the mountain. And by this point, I was just so dehydrated because I was rationing out my water. I knew I had to save some at least till towards the end. I'm heading up the mountain and I realized that, I'm not gonna make it before the sun sets. It's not gonna happen. I am extremely sunburned because all my sunscreen was just sweating off and getting into my eyes and making me cry, which was another dangerous thing on the way down because it was blurring my vision. So it actually made me slip a couple times because I couldn't really see where I was going. It almost made me slip on some cactus too. I was getting lightheaded and I damn near fainted because it was just grueling. Every step was just torment. And at one point I literally almost fainted and kind of fell off to the, not like a ledge, but I almost kind of fell down the side of the mountain because I just was so weak. On the way up, I was kind of at a crossroads where I couldn't really camp anywhere because I'm not about to head back down the mountain just to find a flat space to set up my tent, and I'm clearly not gonna make it up to the top. So I'm hiking up the mountain. There's just no hope for me. I literally almost fainted. The sun was setting. It became very difficult to see, and I'm like, am I stepping on cactus? Am I stepping on scorpions? Like God knows what at this point. I literally just collapsed. Didn't set up my tent, didn't set up my sleeping pad, nothing. Just collapsed, and I used my tent as a pillow. I've never been this tired in my life. Fell asleep with my head on my tent because I'm not in my tent. There's all kinds of creatures crawling on me all through the night. I kept waking up and having to slap off these ants. Thankfully, I don't think any scorpions or tarantulas or snakes or anything venomous crawled on me. I did see a scorpion. I believe it was a striped bark scorpion or something like that. I was looking up some species that are endemic to the area. I did see one crawling on a rock that I almost grabbed. It damn near crawled on my arm when I was grabbing a rock for support on the way up. Thankfully did not get stung because the bark scorpions, they are somewhat venomous but not fatally venomous. However, if I was to be stung at that moment when I was in that critical physical condition, it could have been the death of me. I woke up at about 4:30 in the morning and ate a little bit of breakfast. That's the thing, I barely ate over the 2 days of this trip because I don't know if it was the adrenaline or the stress or the dehydration and fatigue because I was pretty nauseous as well. I barely ate. I did not eat a single meal over those 2 days. I'm climbing up towards the end. There's that sheer cliff face, that wretched boulder dash that I had to do, and it was sketchy. There was no path, so I'm just kind of climbing up whatever rock I can see. I did slip a couple times, but thankfully it wasn't when I had my full weight on any of the little crevices. That was absolutely terrifying. I had my 40+ pound pack on my back. At one point, I did climb up the wrong part. There was a part where you kind of have to climb up a certain path, otherwise you get trapped. And when I got to the top, I realized that the actual path was down below, and there was no way for me to even traverse over because it was too far high up. So I had to basically double back and go down the way I had came, then traverse over and then go up the left side of the mountain. In doing so, I had to take off my pack again and drop it off of a ledge so it would enable me to get down there without killing myself. I tried to drop my pack in a way where it would land nice and safely 10 feet below. My pack had other ideas. It decided to hit the ground, boom, roll over at a bad angle, and just kept rolling, and fell off another ledge, and it fell 100 meters down the mountain, all the way to the point where I could barely see it. In my current physical state, where I was weak, dehydrated, about to faint from heat stroke, I had to jump down that ledge, go all the way back down the gorge, get my backpack, then go up the way I was supposed to go. When I watched my pack fall down that mountain and just keep rolling and falling, I wanted to give up so bad. I wanted to just, let my body give up, just faint, just collapse into the rock. And, God knows, maybe someone will come find me, a ranger will find me here and revive me and, airlift me out of here. But I had to summon all my strength to just keep going. And like I said, I don't have any footage of the steep parts because I was fighting for my life and just was in a terrible physical condition. Excuse me, I'm super out of breath, but let me show you. I'm basically at the top, but oh my God. It took everything and anything out of me. Blood, sweat, and tears. You can see it here after these first couple switchbacks. Where that ridge sharpens out is basically just a super hard boulder dash. You're just rock climbing down. And it was just about as hard and more dangerous going up. Because if you slip and fall on those slippery rocks, you're falling 30 to 40 feet, breaking a leg, maybe even worse. Thank God I made it to the top. Praise the Heavenly Father. And then you can see in the distance there, that's the little Colorado River with super vivid blue. Oh, and I almost forgot. So right as I was leaving the trail, after I drove the 15 miles of, the off-roading, right as I was about to enter the freeway, this dude in a pickup truck pulled up beside me and asked what the hell was I doing there. And then I was keeping my composure very well and being ultra polite. And in the end, it kind of got to a point where he was just making a fool of himself for being so angry and upset at me. And truthfully, I'm just glad he didn't pull a gun out of his glove box. He's just being a complete so I wasn't taking it personally. I'm sure people come on the reservation all the time and are not respecting the land. So like I understood it, but in my current physical state of being, I just was not in the mood to deal with that. And I'll never forget this. At the end, he realized how kind I was being, and he didn't have much to say, and he was just kind of realized how ridiculous he was being, and he just gave me this gaze for like a good ass 3 seconds, just. And then he just finishes it off with, "You look fucking tired. Like, you should get some rest. What are you doing?" I just wanted to be like, yeah, your mom was in the tent with me. That's why I'm so tired. We didn't get much rest last night. But it's just like, just let it go. Let it go, like the Frozen song, and get on with your life. And thankfully, that's what I did. Hopi Salt Trail, do not do it alone. I swear to God, do not do this hike alone. I may be the only idiot in human history to do this hike alone, and it almost cost me my life. Get your permit from the Navajo Nation. Make sure you're contacting the right people and going to the right location. And do not do this hike in the middle of July when it is 112, 15 degrees out there. And like I said, backpacking, it's an amazing activity, going out into the wilderness. But safety and health is your absolute top priority. And do not let anything else rule or govern your decision making. And you have to be able to make the conscious decision to turn back or turn around or do something to get water or resources. However inconvenient or how sucky it may be, you have to prioritize those things. I'm truly making this video to inform and to educate and to make you aware of the dangers of backpacking. Monkey see, monkey don't. Like, don't go through the same shit that I did. See what morons like me have done on these trails, and don't go through the same damn thing. This might be the worst decision I've made in my life. I don't know why I signed up for this. Best believe I'm never setting foot in that canyon again. Anyways, I'm very glad to be here. I'm grateful to still be speaking to y'all and to be able to see my friends and family again. Keep exploring nature, but be safe, be healthy, and live this blessed life. That's all I got, y'all. Take care.